If you're the mom of a toddler, chances are good you know that one day they'll eat everything and then one day they eat nothing at all. But did you know that this behavior is totally normal, and it doesn't mean they're going to be picky eaters for the rest of their life? A lot of times they're just trying to exhibit the newfound control that they have, or they're not really hungry, or they're easily distracted. But it doesn't have that much to do with them actually liking the food itself. So you want to keep trying new foods all the time and keep reintroducing them. A lot of times it takes everyone's taste buds about 7 to 10 times of trying something new before they even decide what it is and if they like it or not. And then our taste buds are always changing. So constantly trying the same foods and new foods is a good way to be sure your child's not overly picky for the rest of their life. In this video, we're going to look at some meal ideas as I pack some lunches for my 15-month-old. And then we're also going to look at just some toddler behaviors in general. And then finally, the goal is just to give you a little peace of mind knowing if your kid sometimes just throws it all on the floor, you're really still doing a good job and you just got to stick with it.
When it comes to feeding a toddler, there are a couple of things I like to keep in mind. And one is just portion sizes, like how much should the baby actually be eating? And then two, developmental, like where is a toddler at this age and what should they be able to do when it comes to anything but including food. I pack her lunch most days of the week, and so I like to use these glass containers for anything that the babysitter might potentially put in the microwave. And then I also use these individual cupcake looking holders. They're silicone, and I got them on Amazon. I like these just to separate different things. I like these disposable containers because they are big enough to hold like meals and snacks, and then also if they go missing between babysitters, it's not a big deal. For meals, I do keep in mind nutritionally balanced meals. So avocado is a great fat source that she likes, so I'll usually add that in. And then blueberries for some type of fruit or carbohydrate, I'll put that in there too. And then I also include like some type of tool for her to eat with. Usually, sometimes I leave this out, but I like this big one, but it doesn't really stab the food as well. These small ones do better, but she also puts them in her mouth, so I don't know, they're kind of a choking thing that I don't really love to send. Depending on what we had the night before, I'll put something like that into. We had black beans last night with Mexican, so I added that in. She doesn't love them, but I felt like it was a good combination with the avocado. And she also eats better with a babysitter, maybe because I'm not around. And so I do send things that I'm not sure that she'll like just to keep her trying new things. I also put in something that I know she likes. So this is a perfect bar. This is one of my favorite things to just cut up. And I like to cut up in small pieces just so I make sure there's no other like choking risks as well. But the perfect bar is a good balance option too if she needs something a little. She'll only realistically eat like a third of it. It's not the whole thing. It's way too much for a toddler, really, sometimes even an adult. But I will put just a little bit in there, and I'd like to go ahead and pack more than one day at a time. So while I have all of these ingredients out, especially because I split a lot of them into smaller portions, I'll go ahead and make 2 or at least 3 usually different lunches or snack boxes for her to take with her. That way I'm not constantly dragging out other things. So sometimes there's yogurt, and then she really likes pomegranate seeds, so those are in here. Avocado again because it's one of her favorites and I know that she'll eat it, so I usually like to put 1 to 2 things I know that they'll eat, and then 1 to 2 new things. When offering toddlers at mealtime, I like to just offer maybe 1 to a max of 3 items just to be sure they're not like overwhelmed with all of the options. Also, keep in mind, I'm sending my child to someone else to feed her for the day, so I do send this stuff, but I'm not really sure how much of it or if any of it she actually eats. Sometimes it comes back totally full, sometimes it comes back empty, and then there are other things that they'll eat during the day that I didn't send at all, and that's just something that I try not to micromanage because I understand that like I'm not with her during the day. But sending a healthy snack meal is very important to me, so I at least try to give the options. And I also think it's nice, like it make it easier for the babysitter. So then I'll go ahead and put the rest of the meals together and then put the lids on them so that I can store them in the refrigerator. A couple things store well, and like yogurt, fruits, and I'll put chia seeds on it if I think she needs a little added fiber. And then some things don't store as well. Some vegetables don't store as long, so I'll just try to use those boxes first and use the ones that kind of store better later. And then I'll add something just for snacks in the car. So like these puff snacks came from Trader Joe's. I really like those, and she really loves the freeze-dried strawberries and blueberries from Trader Joe's. I pack it up with her bottle and then still some breast milk throughout the day, and then she's good to go for the week.
Whatever we have the night before for dinner is also what she will have for lunch the next day. It's like a joke in her house. Like, well, you'll see this tomorrow. That's fine. You don't have to eat it tonight because you're going to see it again. And one thing I keep in mind from the very beginning is I don't make another meal option. I put a safe food that she likes on her plate, but I don't make her something else if she decides she just want to eat what we have. That's fine. you'll see it again for lunch. So don't worry about it. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you're a person that wants things written out, I feel that check the description box for a download of toddler portion size suggestions.